24 to 48 hours about avian flu. So if you could just give us a rundown, sort of the basics of what avian flu is.
Yeah, avian flu is it's part of a avian virus, influenza virus that is impacting some birds across this country. This is not unique to Webster or the Finger Lakes region. This is something that we've been dealing with across this country now for a few years. This particular strain that has impacted our birds over the last 2 years was first identified in winter of 2022. In the Finger Lakes region, we saw just some birds, waterfowl in particular, succumb to this virus. Um, as we continued through the winter season and got into the spring season of 22, we started to see some die off in birds of prey because those eagles, hawks, falcons, and owls were starting to consume infected waterfowl. So it worked its way up the food chain, unfortunately, and not sure how this is going to play out with the Webster situation. But we are, vigilant and watching out for any sick or dead birds. And we do encourage people to contact their local New York State DEC office if they do see any sick or injured birds while they're out and about.
Most common way that it spreads, bird to bird contact, typically
Right.
the way human
That's right.
flu spreads.
That's right. Yeah, people may see birds that are coughing or sneezing, and so that contact with another bird is a way that this virus can spread. It can also spread through fecal matter. And so it is very rare, though, that avian influenza will spread to a human being. I just want to make that
Of
clear that
course.
there
Yep.
doesn't seem to be a concern with public health at this point. As we're going into now this winter season, we're going to be conducting several community science bird surveys across this Montezuma wetlands complex. We're still in the middle of the Christmas bird count season, so there are still people out throughout the Finger Lakes region and really all across New York State that are counting birds during this holiday season as part of the 124th Audubon Christmas bird count. So we're going to be keeping an eye out for anything unusual, unusual bird sightings, living bird sightings, but also looking in particular for any injured, sick, or dead birds, and then reporting that to DEC for proper testing.
And a timeline for this, obviously, a lot of unknown with this particular situation, but is avian flu seasonal the way that human
Yeah.
flu is
Yeah,
typically?
yeah, exactly right. And we're going to be seeing, I think, some avian influenza as we go through this winter season, maybe even into next spring. It's hard to say for sure, but the migratory season is typically the time of year when we find that virus spreading to other birds. It can get into domestic flocks as well. So chicken and pheasant flocks on farms are susceptible to this virus as well. What we saw in 2022 and just a little bit of in 2023 were maybe a few dozen uh, geese or ducks in a very large flock, hundreds of thousands that were either sick or dead as a result of that virus. So not a massive die off, at least going back through the last couple of years, what we've seen.